Those who like to walk on the beach may have enjoyed beachcombing, or looking for little treasures on the sand. And here in Japan, beachcombing is also a very interesting way to spend the time as you stroll along the beach. But there's a special kind of twist at this particular beach. We're at the mouth of the Abe River. The Abe River is one of the great rivers along the course of the Old Tokaido Highway. This is at Shizuoka, and the river, though quite low right now, is quite treacherous in the rainy season and during storms. And up by that bridge, just past the bridge, is where the Old Tokaido Highway passage would occur, and porters would take people across the river. Villages have been in this area, the Shizuoka City area here, along the river on both banks, all up through that mountain range there, up into the canyon of the Abe River. And for centuries, items have been washing down the river and into the sea. Some of those items survive the passage and maybe break up into small pieces. These are particularly interesting with ceramic pieces, little bits of ceramic shards that have survived the passage. And who knows how old they are, but they're awfully interesting to look at. This little strand of spit of sand right here is particularly rich in little bits of ceramics. So it's fun to come and walk here and just see what you can find. I just took a stroll to the end and back. I didn't spend a lot of time, but I just tried to see what I could find, and I found a few items. Let me show you what I found. Well, I didn't find too much, but what I did find is a little bit interesting. Some of the pieces don't appear to be very old at all. This looks like it's just a piece of tile from someone's bathroom. This item here appears to be a piece of ceramic used for some purpose. There seems to be some concrete-like substance here. Probably not too old. Here we have a brick, worn down to just a little nub. Probably a shard of a brick that's been worn down. Not too, we find these pretty often. Although brick like this isn't commonly used in Japan. I don't see buildings like this very often, so it's kind of interesting to wonder where it may have came from, since there aren't many buildings like that. Whoops, I just heard a fish go plunk. Here's several pieces that appear to be glazed ceramic. This one appears to be a very thick-walled vessel of some sort, maybe a bowl or a cup, and you can see it has a pretty glaze on the outside, a very Japanese style. It looks like a brush was run across this with glaze. It must have been a very pretty cup or bowl. Very thick. Probably something fairly large. Well, look at the curvature there. It couldn't have been too large. But it's kind of fun to wonder at the story behind this piece. Here's another interesting one. It kind of looks like a pebble if you just look at it. I didn't think it was actually anything man-made at first until I looked at it from this angle. And you can see that sharp L angle there. Clearly or, you know, at least it appears to be something human-made. Don't know what it is, though. Porcelain, I believe. This appears to be something from maybe a electrical resistor or something. Those were made of porcelain. It seems to have some numbers. It looks like a trademark and a voltage mark there. Whoops, here's just another one. Looks like a rock, but it seems to have some history as a shaped object. Save the best ones for last. This looks like a piece of a bowl that has had glaze on both sides, perhaps a cup. Very nice. Japanese ceramic vessels tend to have a rather Spartan appearance in terms of the finish. Usually a very simple finish or a very rough finish. And this has a rough texture. I'm rubbing my finger over it and I can feel a rough texture here. And a very thin wall. This appears to be perhaps a piece of an old teacup. You can see it's got the curve on it. It's still kind of dirty. And has some simple lines along the top. This is probably the lip up here. So probably someone's teacup. Little bits of it. I saved the best for last. My favorite, the treasure of this particular find, was this item. Actually, it was sitting like this when I saw it, and it looked like a pebble. And I don't know what made me pick it up, but I picked it up and turned it over, and whoa, lo and behold, there's a treasure on the other side. I'm going to keep this one, actually. This appears to be a ceramic piece that received a glaze finish on this one side, and the glaze was then decorated with a blue, some blue finish, and it's very hard to see. It's very faint, but it appears to be a painted scene. I see what appears to be on the left, maybe a tree, and some sort of flowing strokes of brush. I can't quite tell what it is, but it's very nice the way it's so thin, such a thin glaze on this ceramic piece. So maybe this was someone's cup or bowl, or maybe a decorative art piece that somehow got swept into the river here. Like I may have mentioned before, this river is, although very peaceful right now, it's a very dangerous river. While many of the villages have been flooded, many people have died when this river has swollen in the past. The villages upstream are protected now, but it's a very dangerous river, and perhaps this was part of someone's bowl that was swept away. Very nice. Beachcombing at the mouth of the Abe River in Shizuoka, Japan.